Morning, everybody. It's about 8:22 on this Wednesday. The let me check. The 6th, Wednesday, March 6th. And you can see down there, the title basically explains it itself. I'm not the only one that probably gets asked this question, but I'm going to try my best to probably answer it. And that's basically why I unbox, review, and rebox my Transformer figures. Basically, why do I do this, and why does anybody else probably do something similar? Well, you see, when you grow up with something as long as I have, and no matter what gets spawned out of it, what spin-off, what new reboots or whatever are spawned from it, if there is a collection, not a collection, but if there are figures very similar to what you had when you were a kid coming out, you pretty much want to do whatever you can to collect them as best you can. However, when you collect these, you also want to make sure that they're pretty much in a safe haven, if you know what I mean. They're pretty much, out of the hands, out of the reach of young children. Now, I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but if you're someone like me that's been a fan of Transformers for 30 years, for its 30-year franchise, as long as I have, and I'm sure I'm not the only one out there, but if you've been a fan since the beginning of Transformers like I have, and you basically have seen every episode like I have, and you've seen the animated movie 1986 as many times as I have, and my sisters have said it's been like over a million times, million or billion times, whatever. And you have seen the spin-offs, which was like Beast Wars. You have done what you can to check out all the other incarnations. You basically go out on opening weekend like I did. You can go see the first live-action movie, the first of many, as we are going to find out, probably the first of 6. And then go and see the second one with your cousin and his family, not your cousin, but with your nephew and your sister and your brother-in-law, and then go a few years later to see the third one with your nephew, and then get ready to probably see the fourth one coming out very soon. How much more do you need to be? And if you're somebody that has the Transformers, a reissuing or reprinting of the original Transformers the animated movie poster from 1986, what more do you have to say? You see, like I've said, if you've been a fan like I have, and there's many out there that have been fans for a long time of this franchise since its inception, like I have, and you're pretty much doing whatever you can to buy all the reissuings of what is known as the Generation 1 G1 figures, or you're doing whatever you can and to buy and collect the new figures based on, let's say, Transformers Prime or on the past movies, if you will, then you will want to do, and sorry for the pause there, but you'll want to do whatever it takes to keep those in good condition. And that is why with my latest reviews of my newer Transformer figures, like my Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Wheeljack, as well as my Transformers Generation Fall of Cybertron Jazz, and just recently my Transformer Primes Beast Hunters Voyager Class Series 2, Number 2, Predaking, you basically want to do whatever it takes to keep them in good condition. Now what I do, basically, as you have seen, is I do open the packaging, I do a review, I do my best to transform the character from vehicle mode to robot mode and back, and then after I'm said and done, I place it back into its packaging the way it was sold. Like in the case of Wheeljack, he was sold in vehicle mode. So I put the vehicle mode, put him back in vehicle mode, put him back into the packaging, tape up the sides a bit, and then use a thumbtack to place it on the wall. The same with Jack, the Fall of Cybertron. He was sold in, I got him off Amazon.com, he was sold in robot mode, he was displayed in robot mode in the packaging. So what do? After I've reviewed him and transformed him and everything, I put him back in the package, tape it up a little bit, and then take his thumbtack, put it right next to the Wheeljack, there you go. And as far as Predaking goes, as you saw yesterday, he was in Dragon mode, and what was my second attempt at doing a review. And again, I'll provide a link to the Optobotomist one in that video. But anyway, what did I do? Well, I transformed him back to robot mode in the time I had. Did the best job I could. After I showed him in Dragon mode and then transformed him back to robot mode. Showed off his weaponry and accessories. And then what did I do after I was done with the video? I put him back into his plastic, put him back into the box. I basically put him back into the plastic casing that was holding him. I put the plastic casing back into the background box that was inside the package box, inside the package itself, into the display box basically. Put that display box with the plastic packaging and everything. Put everything back, basically put everything back to the way it was, as if you will, and then sealed it back up. In this instant, didn't need the tape. Sealed it back up or shut it back up. Put it into a safe location along with one of my other figures, which is the 2007, I'm guessing you can call it Voyager class, 2007 Voyager class of Optimus Prime from the very first movie, if you want to call it Voyager class. But now the question is, why do people like me do this? Well, again, like I said, it's basically due to the fact that we do not want young kids getting a hold of these things. And my best advice for anybody that does have young kids around, like say nephews or nieces, great nephews or great nieces, and you're pretty much a collector of Transformers or whatever, my best advice is buy two of the same. Like Ninja Turtles is the biggest thing going on right now for kids, right? And that's not much of a surprise. And let's say you go out and you buy Metalhead for your own collection, but you know the kids are going to want to play with it. Best advice, get two Metalhead figures. Same with the whole Mutagen Ooze set that's out now, with the turtle set that's out now. You know, you want to collect all those Mutagen Ooze ones of the turtles, that's fine. But if you know there's going to be kids that don't want to play with them, buy two of each. I know it's a lot, I know it costs extra money to do so, but if you want to have figures that you can collect and display without them being touched, best advice, get two of a kind. But that's why people like me do that. I mean, I'm sure Optobotomist and Ball Matrix would agree with this, and anybody else that's a Transformers fan or figure, any kind of collector of any kind of figurine, if you will, would agree with that. I mean, heck, I collect I have a 1991 20th anniversary Sonic the Hedgehog figurine that I did a review on, and I put back into its casing, back into its packaging, taped up a little bit, and hung up on my wall through a tack. The same thing with Tails. Well, I didn't actually take him out, because you could pretty much see what he was like. But I stuck him up in his packaging, courtesy of a thumbtack, onto the wall. Same with the protoform of Optimus Prime from when the 2007 movie was coming out. Basically, I put them in areas to where I know they're going to be safe. Now, as far as my other Transformers go, pretty much all the boxes I had for them except for maybe my reissuing of Optimus Prime, have all been thrown out. They're all in the garbage, if you will. They're all history. So the best thing I could do is I took some of my Transformers and I put them in one of those vacuum bags, if you will, whatever they're called, sealed it up, and put it someplace where I know where they're at. My other Transformers, I put them in another area in my room that I know where they're at. So this way the kids don't get their hands on them and possibly ruin them. And why do I say that? Well, because when I first came out here, and I'm sure anybody can relate with this, the kids pretty much found out that I had Transformer figures. They pretty much saw it and everything. They pretty much saw that I had these Transformer figures. So what happens? They want to play with them, right? But I'm trying to tell them, no, I don't want you to play with them. And basically, long story short, big fusses always caused because of this. And in the end, I end up losing. I have to let them play with the toys. But I've come to realize that if they don't know where the toys are, or they don't know where the figures are, then they can't play with them. Now I do have all 4 Turtles, back when the 2003 series came out, all 4 of the original figures. And I do let my great nephew play with them at times, as well as my other nephew, because they're the Turtles. And they don't really do much damage with them. I mean, yeah, you gotta probably, put something back on, like with Leonardo or Donatello, you gotta put one of the belts, one of the straps back on, and that's it. It's no big deal. But still, the point is, I know it keeps them busy, but that's only basically mainly for my great nephew when he comes over. Most of the time, they're stored away. So, and again, this is basically what I'm trying to say is, the reason people like me do this kind of stuff, the reason we store them away, the reason we unbox, review, and rebox these figures is so that they're out of the hands of kids. And the best advice myself and anybody else could give is, if you're going to have kids that are going to want to play with those figures, get 2 of a kind. Get 2 of the same. I know it sounds a little expensive at times. I know that let's say 2 total action figures would cost you about $17, $18. But what would you rather do? If you have the money, what would you rather do? Just get 1 with the potential it's going to get played with and damaged? Or get 2 so that you have 1 for a collector item and the other they can play with? I mean, it even goes for DVDs, if you will. I mean, I have, and pretty much everybody knows this, I have 2 copies of the Satyam box set, the Sonic the Hedgehog Satyam box set. One I use for my viewing copy. The other one is still sealed in its packaging from 2007. So basically, I have one that, like I said, I've been using as my viewing copy, my watching copy, basically the copy that I use to watch the show in the rec room. And in my room, I have a copy that's sealed up and has not been opened up yet. And that's been for 5 years. 5 years not opened up. Same with the protoform of Optimus Prime. So, but basically, hopefully, this answered the question of why people like me unbox, review, and rebox figures like Transformers and stuff. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Video responses will be greatly appreciated. And I'll talk to you later.